So here's a quick video that I've had recommended off a few people now. So it's essentially what to do with a bad UCAT score. So if you're going through the application process just now, the UCAT's good for some people, but some people it's just not good to at all. And it is a period of sort of stress, it is a period of worry, and it can be a bad period of time if you don't get the score that you're looking for. So the one thing that I want to drill in straight away is a gap year is not the worst. A gap year is not a bad thing. You will look back on this gap year as one of the best times of your life. I absolutely guarantee you. If you don't want to do a gap year and you want to go into a degree like I did, it again is one of the best periods of your life. You're going to gain so much experience in your life in these 4 years, and you're going to be going into medicine. If that's something you want to do again, you will be going into medicine at the age of 22, 21, depending on whether you're in Scotland or England. I'm in Scotland, so I'm going to be 22. I am 22 and I'm going into a medical degree in about 5 days. So I start in about a week now. Induction week is the Monday coming, it's Wednesday just now. And I don't regret the last 4 years of my life one bit. It was a period of my life that's totally just like sacred. You can't take that away from me now. I've got a bit of paper to account for it. And it's just one of these things, I've got so many memories, I've met so many people from it. And I wouldn't change it for the world, mate, honestly. I think it's actually better than getting into medicine straight away. I know this is a controversial opinion, but yes, I'll be doing university for 9 years straight, but I think, see if you do bad in the UCAT, I would not rule out going into an undergraduate degree. In England, it's only 3 years, if the time worries you at all. If not, you can do a gap year if you have good high school grades. Whereas in Scotland, it's 4 years. It's not a bad thing again. I'm very happy I'm going into medicine at 22. I feel like I'm at a sort of state of mental and emotional maturity to the point where I feel like I'm fully able to appreciate everything I'm going into. Maybe people do sort of mature emotionally and sort of mentally before me, which is probably very true, but through the last 4 years working really hard for it, and the last 3 years if you're in England working really hard for it, you will honestly really appreciate going into medicine. I think even a lot more than you would going in from high school. So if you have a bad UCAT score, first of all, be aware that it's not actually the end of the world. You will really enjoy the next couple of years of your life because you're young and you're able to do things. If, for example, you're a bit older, say my age, 23, 22, even up to sort of the late 20s, I would say, we're sort of at this period in our life where we feel like we have to get into medicine as fast as we can. There is this thing about, I don't know if it's just a mental stigma or maybe a societal stigma, that you have to get into a job as fast as you can. And I feel it every single time I say to people what I'm doing. When I say to people, sort of, if I meet somebody on a first impression basis and they ask me what I'm doing and I tell them I've just finished a degree and I'm going into medicine for the next 5 years, the initial reaction that I get from that is, oh my God, I couldn't do that. I really couldn't do that. And it's just like, okay, you're not doing it, I am. I'm the one that's going through this because I want to go through it. If I didn't want to get into medicine bad enough, I wouldn't be doing it. And people are very happy, and there's a lot of sort of positive reinforcement for people that go straight into jobs. And I know that it's difficult not to sort of have to get a job straight away, and being able to stay in education for a while is a privilege. And sort of being able to do this, I've managed to do it through staying at home throughout my first degree. But there is a massive pressure essentially to get into work as fast as you can straight away. Going into medicine as a graduate, you do have to deal with a lot of this societal sort of or mental pressure. I know I have some of it in my own head as well. I'll be 27 by the time I am on a salary, which is good and bad. It comes with the good, which essentially is I get to put off adult life for another 5 years. I get to sort of be a student, mess about, do a lot of things with my free time. I get decent summer holidays if I want them in medicine. I can do pretty much as much or as little as I like, and I'm not contracted into any sort of hard and fast job just yet. That's the good sign. The bad sign, again, is the money. I'm not going to be getting paid until I'm 27, which will take a toll on my life. It'll sort of maybe stunt me, and if, for example, you're in the similar scenario to me, it'll stunt both of us in terms of finances, maybe settling down until that point, purely based on the monetary value of it. But again, it comes with pros and cons. If you want to do medicine bad enough, you're going to do it, and a UCAT score is nothing that's going to hold you back, I guarantee you. So from now, essentially, pragmatically, I know I've been speaking about the sort of the things that go around it. Pragmatically now, you have to decide, is your score A, good enough to get you into medicine? Yes or no? Is your score then B, good enough to get you into the university that you want? Yes or no? If it's not, then you have options. If it is, then apply. If you cannot get into the university that you would like to, apply tactically. There's lots of universities in the UK that will take a lower UCAT score than other universities. If you're from Scotland and you didn't get a fantastic UCAT score, apply to Scottish unis. Do not apply to English unis. The Scottish Government massively favours Scottish applicants that are from Scotland and that are applying in Scotland as an incentive to try and keep doctors working in Scotland, obviously because of the NHS issues going on. If you're English and you don't have a fantastic UCAT score, look online. There's so many resources that show each university's minimum breakdown for UCAT. Do that and I guarantee you will find something. If your UCAT score is potentially above, say, 2,400, 2,300 even upwards, that's not including widening participation though, you still have a massive chance about getting in. Look on websites. I can't quote the exact UCAT scores, but you will 100% be able to apply to some universities. You'll be towards the low, or sort of the lower side of the cutoff, but that's not a bad thing. If you get into medical school, you're in medical school regardless. If somebody gets 3,600 and applies to the same university as you, you're still at the same starting point as them, even if you got 2,400, 2,300, whatever. If you have widening participation, again, things will differ for you a little bit because you'll have sort of an increased gap in the UCAT score you can get. If you are one of these candidates, again, look tactically, apply tactically if you didn't get the UCAT score you would like. In terms of studying medicine as a graduate like myself, you've got so many options. So you've got an access to medicine course. These tend to be 1 year science-based courses. You mainly sort of focus on the core sciences, biology, chemistry, physics. I think it maybe delves into some anatomy at some different places, but it's a 1 year course and you're guaranteed to get into medicine after it. So essentially you'll get into medicine 1 year later. That's absolutely not a problem at all, and you'll meet people along the way that you will value. There's degrees you can do. So for example, in Scotland, if it's 4 years, you get the 4 years paid for you totally. I've done the last 4 years for free. If it's in England, it's only 3 years, so you'll have to pay for 3 years of university and then get into potentially either an undergraduate, which is 5 years, or a graduate course, which is 4 years. I can do a video sort of overviewing the different medical school processes if you like. There's another one as well. You can apply to European places. I think some of them might be English speaking actually, but you can apply to European countries and study medicine over there. It's not actually that much more expensive than it would be to sit in the UK. And yeah, it's definitely another option if, for example, maybe you have family in Europe, if you fancy a trip to Europe while you're studying. It's one of these things where the limits are essentially the sky. Like, you have so many options, and I know at this point you will be feeling bad about it, and give yourself time to feel bad about a bad score. There's no point in covering it up with distractions or anything. Just feel bad. Just let yourself feel bad. Be aware that it's not always in your hands. It could be, for example, a difficult UCAT question set you got. It could be an extenuating circumstance, for example, a difficult situation you are. There's so many options again. It's okay. Let yourself feel bad for a certain period and then think pragmatically about where you can go forward. There's so many different degrees. If you fancy a video about the different options about getting into medicine, let me know and I'll make a sort of core video about that. But yeah, majority of you will be extremely brainy people. You'll have had really good scores in school. So worst case scenario, you take a gap year, and when I say worst case, I'm talking about you have a year of working in different fun experiences, travelling, spending time with your friends and family. It's really not as bad as it seems. You could have it so much worse off. Like, as far as things go, a gap year is actually not a bad thing at all. I was considering taking one just purely for leisure. Loads of people take them willingly, and if you put it in that sort of mindset, a gap year isn't the worst thing that could happen to you. It's far off of it. You'll get so many things and you'll remember it for the rest of your life. I think all in all, if you don't get a good UCAT score, let yourself feel bad about it, get over it, and then think about a plan. You might have to sit the UCAT again, you might have to study for it again. It's not the end of the world. You'll get into medicine if you want to badly enough. If you're watching videos like this, you will get into medicine if you want to badly enough. I think that's everything I've got to say for this one. It's been a pretty rambly, sort of non-scripted, just me talking to you type thing, as if I would if you were sitting right in front of me. Again, if you want a video about sort of the pragmatic steps that you can take about the other routes to medicine, let me know, as I've had to go through them all myself. Other than that, I would say that's it. Please subscribe if this has been helpful for you, and like it and comment and all that, because I love reading them. And otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.